Hello. I'm Swamp Maid, I guess, but my name is Kylie. So, this is actually the first video on this channel, so I kind of feel obligated to mention that or say something about that. But, yeah, I'm someone who's gotten, like, increasingly very obsessed with planners and journaling and notebooks in the past couple years, and I just kind of wanted a place where I can share that part of myself and kind of ramble about it and maybe find other people who feel the same way and also want to talk to me about it. So that's what this is. My Sterling ink package for 2026 just came in, so I thought this would be a great time to kind of film what my 2025 setup was. I guess I just want to talk briefly about how exactly my planner functions for me, and maybe address the elephant in the room of this questionable looking cover. So this is a Sterling ink B6 common planner from 2025, obviously. And this is a cover that I clearly hand sewed together like pretty badly with just some scrap fabric that I had because it was getting really beat up in my bag and I knew I needed something, but to be honest, a leather cover just was not affordable for me. So this is what I came up with. And I kind of really like it because it feels way more personal. And I like the idea that I could put like patches on it and stuff, but I'll be honest, this thing's on its last leg. It's a whole thing. So we're just gonna ignore that. This is the house it lives in, but I don't know, it does its purpose. This is actually 2 books in here. And this one, you might notice, does not look super recognizable. I actually hacked together this from my 2023 common planner, also B6. I get the slimmer version, a compact, that's what it's called. I get the compact version now because I was like, I don't need all those notes pages. First year round, no such thing existed, I think. So yeah, 2023, I ended up with all of these extra notes pages and I didn't know what to do with them. So they were just sitting on my shelf. But what I realized is that first of all, I do need a little bit more than the compact can give me, but also I could just cut up my old one, which was very painstaking. I literally just took an X-Acto knife, separated between the binding, and I re-glued it together into this craft paper I have, which is pretty sturdy. Honestly, might be a little bit thicker than this, but yeah, you can see the cover is peeling just from the way that I was absolutely manhandling it and throwing it in my bag. So yeah, that's all this is. This is just hacked up one of these basically. And I'll be using it as additional notes pages. So I use my planner, first of all, I'm a university student. This is my last year of school. I'm doing a BFA for art and technology. I have a major in art and tech and minors in art history and game studies, which is more specifically for me like video game studies, which very fun, love school. And this book kind of holds my life together for all of that. So there's definitely parts that I don't use. For example, I kind of just mark off with like, I just kind of draw a little heart whenever the month has passed with whatever pen I'm currently holding in my hand. And you're gonna see a lot of that in this book, like a lot of, wow, that's really chaotic. We're using 10 different pens per page. And I won't lie, it's starting to bother me, but I guess that's kind of part of what I'm trying to explore here, is trying to figure out what works for me. So this is a mood board I did at the start of the year. I did not end up using this. I had some lofty goals. I wanted to learn how to use ZBrush and Substance Painter for 3D art. I did, but like also not really. So I didn't really use the spread. I was using this to track my workouts, and I think this is actually pretty accurate. I think this is actually pretty accurate. Yeah, I think this is up to date, unfortunately. But it's okay. Yeah, I also did not really use these. I don't really know what I've written there, so I'm just gonna quickly go through them. I definitely used these in my previous 2 years. I just didn't really find a use for them this year. I also don't really use the monthly spreads that much. We are not even in November yet. Let's see, do I have any that is more used? Yeah, so basically what I was doing is I just highlighted what days I have what classes. So for my book, every single color corresponds to a class or something. So I had 4 classes, and then the pink was for work. And if there was an event happening that month, I might write it down in here, but most of the time I was not remembering to even flip back and look at this. So that's something I'm noticing in my system, is that I think something that I have to flip between sections less might work more. But Sterling ink, I totally did see the complete planner, is that what it's called? And that was so exciting for me. At the same time, though, I cannot deal with the hardcover. I don't know. There's a lot more to be said there. I'm gonna do a quick flip through of my weekly pages while I talk about how I use them. So as I mentioned, I have a different color for every single class that I have. But you're also going to notice that I glue in a lot of things. I glue in sticky notes. Here I have a random price tag, some random stickers. You'll see doodles throughout these pages. This first season, I didn't really do much. Here we go. I will go back and just glue over things. I got stamps in here. Ticket from a movie. Coffee orders, tea tags. What I end up doing is kind of using it both as a weekly planner, weekly overview, but also as kind of memory keeping. So everything I'm gluing in here is from that week in my life. Like I had tea here. You can kind of see how really chaotic it gets, and yes, I don't have any spice tolerance. Please don't come for me. But yeah, it ends up being really chaotic. And to be honest, I love it. I feel really satisfied when I look at it and I see how full it is. And it really feels like it's like painting a picture of my life. I feel like you can feel how these weeks in my life felt just by looking at the pages. And I really love that. I love how crinkly everything gets when it's well written on and there's things glued in. Yeah, so that's important to me, I guess. But at the same time, I look at it and I acknowledge that it's like a lot to handle. I don't know. I'm just trying to find what's most authentic to me, and it might be this, it might be something else. I don't know, but I'm probably going to be doing a lot of experimentation to try and figure it out. So quickly, I'm going to give a better rundown of what exactly is going on here. I know it's kind of hard to tell with how chaotic it gets, but what I do is I time block. So I draw a line straight down. This class started at 9 a.m. and ended at 11:50. So I draw a line from 9 to 11:50, write in all the information about the class, what its name is, where it is, and the time frame it's in, and then I highlight that strip based on the color I correspond that class to. And then on the left here, this is like a weekly running to-do list, task list, whatever you want to call it. So I'll put assignments or just things I need to do for certain classes in there. And then as I go throughout the week, I distribute these tasks to certain days. Those get highlighted with the color of the class. It doesn't look this chaotic every single week, especially if we maybe take a look at my current week. You can see there's almost nothing here. So I can really just focus on, whatever vertical strip, whatever day I'm looking at, and that's what gets done that day. So let's get into the notes sections. Like I said, I'm a student, and so this note section basically ends up being my workbook. So this is more than just a notebook. To me, it feels also like a sketchbook. It's also, brain dump. I sometimes glue things in on here too. So I'll just do a very, very quick flip through. This is where I put down all the messy ideas that eventually become art projects. And that brings us to the end of this book. So like I said, this book is going to take up where this one left off. I don't even know what I'm saying. That one's going to fill the gaps for me and have more notes pages. I do also use like a more diary style journal, and I do that in the form of this Moleskine. And I'll just do a really quick kind of flip through. This is mostly writing. I do occasionally glue things in, but for me that is just mostly just pure words. Where does that leave us? It's time to look at my 2026 planner, and I kind of want to discuss some changes I'm going to be making moving forward. Okay, so first of all, there's so many pages in the front of the book that I really did not make good use of. There's so many things I could be tracking, things I put in other notebooks that I could just, use some of those pages for. So I'd like to try that. Ultimately, I think what would work better for me is a book that was more chronological. So something that had the months, the weeks, and some notes pages all in one section, or maybe just the months, weeks, and quarters in chronological order, but still all the notes pages in the back. It's hard to say because I need to do some serious experimenting, and I don't know if I have the mental capacity to experiment right now. You'll notice I have these little tabs. These are just semi-transparent sticky notes, and they're like more plasticky. If you know the ones, they're pretty durable. I've had the same ones for a very long time, and they hold up. And I just kind of move them every single week. I don't like having tabs along the side of my book because then I can't flip through it smoothly, which, as silly as it sounds, is very important to me. A big reason why I use paper planners is because it's like an important physical sensory experience, in my opinion, to be able to have that book on my table and to be able to flip through it and feel the pages. And that's why I really love the thinner Tomoe river paper type planners, because that paper is like a dream for me. It's genuinely this is my perfect paper, and few things make me happier than flipping through my little books. So yeah, let's get into my 2026 package. This is cool. Wow, I love this postcard thing. Oh man. This is going in my planner. That is gorgeous. cover feels so smooth. It feels like a totally different, oh man, it's a totally different material than last time. This is my first A5 size common planner, and oh my god, that's gorgeous. I did go back to the gilded edge. You'll notice I didn't have a gilded edge for 2025, but I did in the older planner that I hacked together with an extra notebook. Wow. Wow, I just want to say first thing that I am definitely worried about having the bigger planner and how that might be less portable or maybe more difficult to keep in pristine condition in my bag, but we're gonna get cross that bridge when we get to it, because man, it feels really good to have something I love so much, even more of it. Oh my gosh, I have room under here now. What am I gonna do with that? Gorgeous. I do like that they're just circling these dates this year, because this page does feel a lot more like a blank slate because of it.